Well, hello there, lads and ladies, and welcome back to another review. Today, I'm so excited to talk about this. Oh my god. This was a fantastic film. I loved it, every single bit of it. Well, apart from some sections with the humans, they're never perfect. But again, I do love the storyline with Gia. I love how they tied her in with Mothra, how the last of her kind of the Iwi people basically being the catalyst to help bring Mothra back. I don't know why they needed her to bring Mothra back when we all know that she's capable of reincarnating herself anyway, which form basically, but it's fine. It's a way to keep the humans active and keeping them in. I didn't feel let down by the human characters as I did in King of the Monsters, which is such a big freaking difference really to how it usually is. And even in like -1, like you really did gel well with the characters. You really you were with them the whole way with like the whole destruction of Godzilla. But with this, they didn't feel like a nuisance really, which is a good thing really. They all played their very good parts really. So big ups to the characters, you know, big ups to the actors. But yeah, honestly, the whole film, wow, wow. Okay, so as you know, there are going to be spoilers. So if you do not want to listen to spoilers, go and watch this film. Please, I beg you, go and watch this film. It's so freaking good. And don't listen to what the freaking critics are saying. They're assholes that don't know how to have a good time. This film was made for fun, and it was fun. This made me feel like I was a child again, watching like the original Showa series all the way through again when I was a kid. It really brought those memories back for me. That is the Showa fun that I've been missing from my like MonsterVerse like binging that I've been doing with Godzilla and Kong and all that. Kong, I actually have more respect for him now, knowing that he has gone. He's really a protector not only of the people but of others basically, and it's shown in this film that he's very caring to like this little son of Scar King basically. And don't get me wrong, Scar King wasn't really much of a villain at the end of the day. He was kind of like, you know, this tyrannical dictator that basically forces his hand through the control of others basically. It's a dime a dozen thing basically, but it's just a shame that we didn't see much of Shimo either, because Shimo was a very interesting I don't want to say antagonist because she was obviously being used against her will in a certain sense, and it's shown at the end of the film where she teams up with Godzilla and Kong basically. But honestly, I'm so happy they brought Mothra back. Mothra was one of my key points of this film. They needed to bring her back. They needed to show that she could be useful without having to sacrifice herself. And I'm really sick of seeing that with Mothra, when she always sacrifices herself to like be the like the heroine in the moment that has to give her life. She doesn't always have to give her life. She carried herself in this film. Not only did she silk up 3 gorillas, she also managed to push back Godzilla from nearly killing Kong. Like, it takes a lot of strength to stand up to your enemies, but it takes more strength to stand up to your friends. Thank you, Dumbledore. But honestly, this film was fucking brilliant. I'm so excited to watch it again. I'm going to watch it again this Tuesday because I love it. I fucking love it. It's so good. It's so good. Honestly, I don't know how the critics can say it was bad, like, or mediocre or whatever, because it's so good. You don't need to have, like, it always be serious. You know, it's good when there's some seriousness to it. But this is the whole point of the Godzilla franchise. There was fun. There was cheese. There was fights. There were so many fights in this film. Like, I couldn't believe that Godzilla killed Skilla and Tiamat. 2 very good, like, titans that were, like, formidable. Hell, even in the comics, Tiamat nearly killed Godzilla. That's how powerful it was. But it didn't matter. Godzilla shat on her. He shat on her just from getting the radiation from the plant. He went to her, killed her, took her energy, and then said, fuck you, I'm gonna go fuck some more shit up. That's what I love about this Godzilla, that he doesn't give a shit. He says, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm gonna blow all your shit up. And it even shows when he went straight after Kong, because he knew that Kong was obviously going to challenge him at some point, coming to the surface, but Kong obviously had to bring Godzilla down to Hollow Earth to help out with the whole situation of Scar King and Shimo basically going to the temple where Gia and the others and Mothra were at basically. I mean, as powerful as Mothra is, I don't know if she'd been able to hold off that much against the whole army of Scar King's lot, or especially Shimo. But she does give her best. Like, there's even a bit where she actually saves like Gia and the others in the shuttle by picking them up and placing them somewhere else, and then also blasting a little bit of like staggering Shimo, not so much, but oh, to see that Egyptian scene, that was so good. The fights were so good. It's just such a shame they're so short. Such a shame they're so short, because some of those scenes were very they didn't cut away from the action, which I'm pleased, but they finished very quickly, which of course I will add some realistic standpoints to it. If you've got like a souped up, charged up, like, you know, pulse version of Godzilla, of course Tiamat wasn't going to last long. He's souped up. Whereas in the comics, I think he just got done getting Nikika released, and then had to fight off some sort of bone, like, crushing fish of some kind, like a carp or whatever it was. I can't remember what it was. And then he had to take back this one place that he belonged in when another ape had beaten him at one point and pushed him out of his home. That is where he had to go through Tiamat's domain to basically get to that. And Tiamat was very close to killing him in the comics. But here, no, just blew her up. Just blew her up out of the freaking... I feel I'm starting to think this man's a bit of a misogynist. He's killed 2 female titans already. It's just... Oh my god, and there was this one scene with little Suko. It was so funny. So after Suko bit Kong on the finger, after he was trying to be friendly towards him, he uses Suko as a weapon and smacks these other 3 apes upside the head with him, and then tosses him at another ape. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, this is amazing. I love this. This is brilliant cinema. This is the type of shit you wish would happen in films like that. It's just crazy, wacky goodness. But it also did show his humanity, Kong, being able to, like, save this one ape that was about to fall off of a cliff, but then picked him up again. But then, of course, this ape was going to betray him, goes and stabs him, and Kong just kicks him straight off the edge to say, like, I'm giving you one chance, don't fuck with me. I do love the relationship that he has with Suko as well. Like, there's, like, this little image where he's got, like, his axe on his shoulder like that, and Suko is just basically walking along with him. It kind of it gives me that, like, God of War vibes, you know, with Kratos and Atreus in a certain sense. It's got, like, that nice, like, father-son figure type thing going on there. And hopefully Adam Wingard does come out with a sequel, because I would love to see a continuation of that. I mean, I'm actually starting to have Kong grow on me now, because he's so human. Like, they've managed to make him very emotional, very human-like in a certain sense, and of course that sticks with you for long periods of time, which, like, in the early 1933s version, wasn't really able to do. They kind of, like, made him this kind of, like, this monster that, you know, like, just kidnaps a woman, and, like, it's kind of weird, like the old 1930s version. Even the early 2000 Peter Jackson version, he was still kind of ape-like, really. There wasn't really much there, apart from his, like, fascination with Anne, basically. But yeah, with this version, he's a protector of the people, as all apes are now, back in their rightful place as protectors of humans, basically, especially the people that live under in the Hollow Earth. Although this is actually a lower region of Hollow Earth now, basically. We're discovering more things about this place as it goes along. It's really, really interesting. And it's so nice to see Gia actually find her place here. And also, I do love the relationship she has with her mother-in-law, basically, her stepmother, because she was willing to let Gia stay in the Hollow Earth, basically, because that's what she thought would make her happy. But Gia obviously is reassuring her that wherever I go and wherever you go, we go together, basically, because we're family, basically. It's just so sweet, that a nice, sweet relationship. Trapper was a good character as well. I did like some diversity in the cast, basically. I like the idea that, you know, he was like this jokester character, but he was serious when he needed to be. And the other guy, the podcaster, I can't remember his name, unfortunately, came back for this film. I liked him. He's a bit of comedy relief, basically. And he actually got on quite well with this one Hollow Earther who didn't talk, just spoke telepathically to Gia and the others, basically. It's like he immediately knew what she was saying through telepathy and all that. It's interesting, really interesting, that. Mothra's reveal was wonderful. I was so glad to see her come back. It's just, the whole thing was perfect. They did manage to reskin her as well, which I'm so happy for, because in the last one, in King of the Monsters, she was a bit, like, fluffless, which I'm okay with. I mean, I liked the wings. They kept the wings, thankfully, but they gave her more of a burnt orange look. They kept her blue eyes with little blue accents around the body, but gave her more orange, like sunbursting fluff, which was better, better. Makes her look more of a deity. They even gave her extra lighting to make her seem like a deity. Really freaking good. And the scene where Godzilla is fighting Kong, it's just so funny. They're just beating the shit out of each other, and Mothra has to come in and swipe Godzilla away with a wind blast as to say, like, no, 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 like, put the squabbling aside, boys. We got a bigger threat coming, basically. The final fight was worth it. Like, even little Suko got in there at the end to help destroy the crystal, to help out with getting rid of the taming of Shimo, basically. Now Shimo is completely free of that, and the death of Scar King was really freaking good. She got her own on him, basically freezing him and all that. There were even some bits in the fight where Godzilla and Kong saved each other. Mostly Godzilla saving Kong, really, where I kind of felt like that was needed, basically, because it shows that Kong is not like this indestructible force. He does have these aspects about him where he does lack in certain aspects, you know, because he's not as experienced as Godzilla or like Shimo or anything like that. They're not like these millennium creatures. Like, these are apes. They live for roughly about, what, I'd say 100 to 200 years, because they're like, because of the radiation in Hollow Earth and all that. Actually, Kong's quite lucky to get as big as he was, being on Skull Island, basically, so I'm surprised he's not smaller than I expected, really. But yeah, it was good. It was good. The final fight was fantastic. Being able to see, like, the, you know, the determination in Kong, like, regaining the freedom of his people and being able to find a place of home that he could finally call home. And Gia finding her home with her stepmother, basically. That was just a nice way to tie it all in, really. So for the critics who say that this film was an abomination, you can go fuck yourselves, because this film was fucking grand. It was grand. Absolutely fantastic. I'd watch this over and over again. I'm definitely going to watch this again. I'm going Tuesday to watch it. It's a fantastic film. The music was downright good as well. I wouldn't say it's as good as King of the Monsters. There were some aspects of it. I was really missing the Godzilla theme. There were some aspects of the Godzilla theme, but it didn't like play it all the way throughout. I kind of wish they kept Mothra's theme from like King of the Monsters and maybe added vocals to it, because they took vocals out. Oh, and that's another thing. The kaiju that they removed, Phosphora, who was meant to be the replacement for Mothra, but Mothra ended up becoming more popular, so they brought it back. They may bring that back, because they did just kill 2 female titans. So maybe we need another female titan, maybe in the form of Phosphora, to come back, you know, maybe as an ally to Godzilla to fight Rodan if he ever tries to, like, upstage Godzilla and Mothra in one way, shape, or form again, you know? It could be like that Batra thing, like where maybe Phosphora is a little bit more evil compared to Mothra's light. We could have something like that, maybe? Who knows? But that's up for Adam Wingard to find out, really, and for us to figure out along the way, really. And I'm just so excited that this is getting the positivity that it needs, because Godzilla is eternal, as is Kong. Kong is older than Godzilla, but Godzilla is standing the test of time along with Kong, now with the new Monsterverse finally expanding. I hope it becomes as well known and as famous as the Marvel Universe, because it takes some doing to beat Marvel, but recently they have not been hitting like their quotas, basically. But Monsterverse is getting there. We're finally getting some leeway, and more foreign fans, not just Japanese, English and American, everyone from around the world is loving the Monsterverse, and I cannot wait for more of it. So if you would like a more in-depth review, this is just a fresh like synopsis for you guys. I will hopefully go back and watch it again on Tuesday and really look at some of the finer details of it, because I was just so gobsmacked with the combat and the like CGI. CGI was so good, man. They're getting so good with it. They're getting so good. All that's left now is to just make an entire film with the kaijus just doing their own thing. No humans. But I'm glad that they actually made the humans likable in this one, because they actually had a decent story. It wasn't like boring. You actually were invested in where the humans were going with this. That is quite nice to see, though. But again, I'm all for kaiju here. I'm all for kaiju action. So, with that, lads and ladies, I thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this review. And yet again, I will implore you, go and watch the film. It is fucking grand. Go and watch the film. it is fucking good. Alright, with that, lads and ladies, thank you ever so much for watching, and yeah, I've already uploaded Mass Effect for you guys, so that will be it for today, and tomorrow I will go back to my regular schedule, at least until Tuesday, when I can give a better review of King of the Monsters, if you're up for it. Either way, I'm good. I'm gonna put it up either way, really. I was actually gonna make all of like my uploads just Mass Effect because I haven't got much else going on really, but Godzilla and Kong, this is more important. I'm sorry, this had to interrupt Mass Effect because this is goddamn important for my channel. I love the Monsterverse. I'm so glad it is getting the recognition it deserves. Right, so with that, thank you all lads and ladies, and I'll see you in whatever I next do around here. Take care, my friends.